In this video, I'll be giving you my guide to home recording gear for beginners. Hi folks, I'm Mike and I hope you're well. Now when you're just starting out, it can be really confusing to know which gear you really need for your first home studio and which gear you can leave until a little bit later. So in this video, I'll be demystifying that for you and I'll be making some specific recommendations about gear that I really think you can't go wrong with. Now we'll be doing all of this for less than $360 US. But the good news is we won't be sacrificing quality just to keep the price down low. Now I'll put links in the description to all the products that I'll be recommending, so check that out if you want to buy them. Now before we do get started, if you like this kind of content all about home recording, gear reviews, plugin reviews, that kind of thing, then please do subscribe and ring the bell on YouTube so that you are notified about my future videos. Now let's get started with my guide to home studio gear for beginners. So actually, most of the gear in my home studio makes no difference to the sound at all. So I've nailed it down to 3 items which I think you actually need to start your home studio. Now I am assuming, of course, that you already have a computer of some kind. It could be a PC or a Mac, it could be a desktop or a laptop, makes no difference. It's more than likely that the PC or Mac you already have is more than capable of recording in a home studio. Now I do recommend that it's good to have 8 GB of RAM at least, but if you only have 4, that's fine to get started with. Don't let the computer that you currently have be a barrier to you getting started with your home recording journey. So one of the limitations your computer will have is its onboard sound. I see a lot of people really struggling in the beginning trying to use their onboard sound for multi-track recording, and they have lots and lots of problems. It may be great for watching movies, it may be great for playing games, but it was never designed for high quality multi-track recording. So the first piece of gear you're going to need is an audio interface. That's going to do all of the heavy lifting of the sound for you, and it's also going to ensure that you have the correct inputs for microphones, for guitars and other music gear. So my first recommendation is going to be the Focusrite Scarlett II. So gear for audio recording is what Focusrite have been doing for the past 35 years, and they're particularly well known for their high quality mic preamps. Now the Scarlett II oozes quality with a really nice metal casing, really good quality knobs and buttons on the front, and a really well laid out front panel. Now the 2 combo connectors on the front allow you to connect studio mics, guitars or other instruments such as synths or drum machines. Each of the 2 inputs has a gain control surrounded by an LED indicator so that you can make sure you get good healthy input levels. This interface supplies 48 volts phantom power, which is needed by many studio mics, and we'll be discussing that a little bit later. We also have a switch for direct monitoring so that you can hear yourself directly through the interface while recording, taking some load off your computer and avoiding latency issues. There's a nice big volume knob, a headphone connector and a knob to control the headphone volume. Moving to the back, we have a USB-C connector for connecting to your computer, and they supply you with a cable to connect it to a regular USB-A port. We also have 2 1/4-inch outputs for connecting to studio monitors. Now it's true that there is a cheaper version in this range which only has 1 input, but for most people I recommend this particular model with 2 inputs. For contemporary music, we often find ourselves recording guitars in stereo, or perhaps even recording a vocal and an acoustic guitar at the same time. So you can really quickly find yourself wanting to upgrade. Now there are some exceptions. For example, if you're primarily recording electronic music and you're just occasionally recording, say, just a single vocal, then you can go for the 1-channel version. So I'll put a link for that in the description down below. But for now, I am recommending that most people go for this 2-channel version, the II. Now, if you're recording vocals, guitar or other acoustic instruments, then I recommend the Audio-Technica AT2020 condenser microphone. Now, this one happens to be white, but it also comes in black as well. Now, because it's a condenser microphone, it does need that 48 volts of phantom power, which I mentioned can be supplied by the Scarlett II interface we looked at earlier. Now, condenser microphones are really great for picking up details in vocals, and I especially love them on acoustic guitars. Now, I pitted this microphone against two more expensive microphones in a video a few months ago. I did it in a blind test, and so viewers were listening to these microphones without knowing which microphone they were listening to, and this one got the most votes for the best sounding microphone. So that's why I'm recommending it to you today. So lastly, I'm going to recommend some headphones. Now, you may already have some headphones that you love. Maybe you like the AirPods, which came with your phone, or maybe you've invested hundreds of dollars on some high quality headphones. Well, unfortunately, they're probably not going to be that useful to you in the studio. You see, consumer headphones are often hyped at certain frequencies to make them sound better. Now, that's going to have the unfortunate effect of not making them very useful for mixing. You see, when you get your mix right on those headphones, you'll often find it doesn't sound so great on other people's systems and with other headphones. So you really want something with a flat response. Secondly, they're not that great for isolation, but we'll get to that later. So my recommendation for studio headphones is going to be my trusty old Sennheiser HD 280 Pros. I've had these ones for a few years now, and they've served me very, very well indeed. They've got a very flat response to them, meaning they're not hyped in certain areas that much. So if you get a good mix on these, you'll often find it translate well to other systems. Secondly, they have excellent isolation properties. So that means that when you're recording your vocals, for example, and you've got your backing track coming through the headphones, it's not going to leak out of the headphones back through to the microphone and kind of ruining that pristine take that you've just gotten. So that's the main reasons why a lot of people go for these headphones. They're kind of an industry standard. Now, are they really great headphones for your daily use? No, they get really sort of uncomfortable after a few hours of use, and they can sort of feel a little bit harsh if you use them all day long, but they are excellent to use in the studio, and they're going to solve those problems for you. Now, of course, you're going to need some software to record with. This kind of software is normally called a DAW, or Digital Audio Workstation. Now, the audio interface I recommended, the Scarlett II, comes with some free software and quite a few plugins as well to get you going. The software that comes with it is Ableton Live Lite, and that gives you a really good start in your home recording journey. Now, for premium choices, I prefer PreSonus Studio One, and they do a cut down version of that called Studio One Prime. So I'll put a link to that down in the description. You can check that out. Now, if you're a PC user and you want something which is complete and completely free, which you'll never need to upgrade, then I recommend Cakewalk by BandLab. I'll put a link to that in the description, and also check out some of the videos I've made on that very subject. So the three things I've recommended in this video are what I consider to be absolutely necessary for getting started with your home recording studio. But there were a couple of things that came in very close to necessary. I'm going to mention those now. First of all, it's really useful to have some kind of MIDI controller keyboard. This will enable you to more easily control the virtual instruments that you'll have included with your software. You can get by for a while without having one, but it does make life a lot easier to actually have one. So I'll be recommending a few of the cheaper options in the description down below, which I would say are good ones to start off with. Secondly, you may see in the background here my studio monitors. Now, some people say you really need a good pair of studio monitors to get a decent mix. I'm not sure if that's absolutely true or not, but the one thing about them is they are quite expensive, and you really don't get the best out of them unless you have a well-treated room as well. So it's something which can wait till much later, I think, but it is worth keeping it in mind if you do have a bit more budget. So I do hope that you've found this guide useful, and if you've got any questions whatsoever, then please do ask in the comments down below, and I'll try my very best to help you out. Alternatively, head on over to the Creative Source forums, a new community designed for beginners to really get to know each other and help each other with the problems that they're getting with recording. Now, if you did like this video, then hit the like button. That really helps me out and lets YouTube know that it should share this video with other people. If you didn't like this video at all, then do hit the dislike button twice. And if you like this kind of content, all about home recording, DAW, gear reviews, plugin reviews, that kind of thing, then please do subscribe and ring the bell on YouTube so that you are notified about my other videos. And I'll see you in the next video.